Hey, Kyle, sorry to bother you at work. Are you still on your lunch break?
Yeah, Allie, I was just about to start eating, actually.
Okay, is this a good time? I wanted to ask you something. You know my little shoulder bag, right? Have you seen it anywhere? I could have sworn I put it away in the closet like always, but it's not there.
Oh, you mean that black one?
Yeah, that's the one.
You haven't used that thing in forever, though.
Well, I guess I haven't used it very much since Melanie was born. It's a logistical thing, you know? Now that I'm taking a kid around everywhere with me, I need more bag space. But I still use it from time to time.
Oh, really? Sorry. I hadn't seen you use it in so long that I figured you didn't want it anymore. I kinda gave it to my little sister a while back.
You what? You gave it to Nellie?
I talked to you a while back about her husband, right? He's hit kind of a rough patch in his career. He's not really taken home enough money to pay the bills. Nellie tells me they're in a really bad financial pinch. And Nellie's kid is still a baby, so it's not like she can go out herself and work.
I'm still waiting for the part where you explain how that's related to you giving her my shoulder bag.
I'm getting there. So she's got a class reunion coming up, and with the hard time they're having paying their bills, she doesn't have any money to spend on a nice dress and stuff. I was under the impression that you didn't really use that bag anymore and probably wouldn't miss it, so I let her have it.
That is still not a valid reason for giving her that bag. How could you just give that to her without even asking me? It's my bag.
Come on, what's the big deal? How long have you had that bag? You bought it before Melanie was born, so it has to be more than 10 years old. What's so special about an old bag like that? It's probably out of style anyway.
Don't you know anything about bags? It was a really expensive brand. It doesn't matter how old it is. I still loved the design and it was still in good condition. Not to mention I bought that with the money I earned before we got married.
I'm really sorry, Allie. I had no idea. Tell you what, you can go ahead and buy a new one, okay? Any bag that you want.
I can't just go out and spend a couple grand on a new handbag right now. We have a child, Kyle. We need to be saving money for our future.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, Allie.
It's not like I can just ask her to give it back. You already gave it to her. So I'm just going to have to live with it. But Kyle, let me make myself perfectly clear. You will never do anything like this ever again, okay?
Yep, I've learned my lesson, Allie, honest. I just got so caught up in wanting to help her out,
Why was giving her my bag the first thing you thought of? What about giving her money? Isn't that easier?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Oh, does that mean you'd be okay with giving her money?
If you want to give her some of your monthly spending money, then be my guest. You've been going to the bar a lot lately, so how about cutting back on that?
Are you kidding? You want me to stop drinking? I work hard enough to deserve a little fun.
Is drinking the only way you know of to have fun? You can't get a new hobby, not that drinking is a legitimate hobby. If you can do that, you'll both be healthier and have more money to help out your sister.
But we both have jobs, right? We're not exactly hurting for money or anything. What do you say? Could we give them a few $100 a month to help them get through this hard time?
We may not be hurting for money, but we're definitely not rich either.
We're able to put away a decent amount of money every month. I'd say we're doing pretty well. And think about it. When's the last time we've had to hold off on buying anything we wanted because we didn't have enough money?
That's less about how much we make and more about how good I am at managing our finances.
Please, Allie, won't you please help out my sister? All I'm asking for is $500 a month.
$500? That's not exactly pocket change, Kyle.
Nellie's husband is only taking home $1,100 a month after taxes, Allie.
Wow, I didn't know they had it that rough. I didn't even know how it's possible for 3 people to live on just that.
Right. Do you understand how serious I am now? It's not gonna be forever, just until Nellie's able to work again. She tells me that she's looking for a daycare for her kid right now, so I doubt it'll be very long.
Just to be clear, this is a gift, right? In other words, you're not going to expect her to pay it back.
Well, yeah.
All right, then tell me how long you want to keep this up. Pick a date and stick with it. No extensions.
How about a year?
A year? Oh, that is way too long. You can multiply, can't you? What's 500 times 12 months, Kyle?
Okay, up to a year, or however long it takes her to find a daycare for her kid, whichever is shorter. Would that satisfy you?
Fine, I can deal with that. However, you're going to have to be on her back about finding a daycare as soon as possible. Got it?
Yeah, I got it. Thank you so much, Allie. I'm gonna tell Nellie right away.
Be sure you let her know that $500 is the absolute maximum amount, too. And if you want to give them anything beyond that, it's going to come out of your monthly spending allowance.
I got it. I'm pretty sure $500 is all they'll need, though. That'll be a lot of money for them. I really can't thank you enough for agreeing to help Nellie out, Allie.
Hey, Kyle, where are you right now?
Hey, Allie, I'm still out eating lunch with my friend. I told you about that before I left, didn't I?
Yeah, you did, but something's come up and I'm going to need you to come back home right now.
You know I can't do that. He had to drive a whole hour to get here. I can't just flake out on him like this.
Tell me where Melanie's piggy bank is.
Her piggy bank?
You gave it to Nellie, didn't you? We have been looking all over for it, but can't find it anywhere.
I have no idea where it is. You don't think I'd be so heartless as to take my own daughter's money, do you?
You did take my shoulder bag, so...
Well, that was only because I thought you weren't using it anymore.
And it's not just that. A couple of my scarves and a watch are missing too. Go on and fess up, Kyle. You've got a long enough rap sheet for me to know it's you.
Rap sheet? Don't talk about me like I'm some common criminal.
If you didn't take it, then where is it? If it's an inanimate object, it can't just get up and walk away.
Maybe Nellie stole it?
What? When was she at the house?
A couple of days ago. She came with her kid just to chat and have a cup of tea with me. You were at work, and I'm pretty sure Melanie was at a friend's house at that time. I don't know, maybe she took it while I was in the bathroom or something?
I don't believe it. She's a thief. I'm gonna have to talk to your mother about this.
No, you can't. If you do that, it could cause a huge rift in our family.
I don't think I have any obligation to hold back here just because she's family. What she did was a crime, you know.
They're in a huge financial crisis, though.
And we're giving them $500 a month to help them out. What, is that not enough for her? She can't pay her bills unless she steals an elementary school girl's piggy bank? If she wanted more, she should have asked for it.
Okay, I'll talk to her about it.
You got that right. And don't forget, I want all the money and the bank itself, too. Melanie's been working so hard to save up that money. She's been holding off on spending any of her allowance for, I've forgotten how long.
Don't worry, I'll be sure to get it all back, trust me.
Make it quick. And one more thing, tell her that she has crossed the line and there is no coming back from this. We're cutting off their $500 a month support, and we will never give them any support ever again.
Isn't that going a bit too far?
Too far? Is that a joke? I don't believe it. You're still taking pity on her after what she's done?
I don't think you understand what she's going through right now. I mean, think back to your own college days. You said that you were in a really bad bind when you first started out on your own, right?
Yeah, and? As bad as things got, I never stole anything from anyone.
I bet you'd feel different if you had to take care of a kid and yourself. We might be doing all right for ourselves now, but who knows what curveballs life might throw at us. We could end up in the poorhouse by the end of the month. What if we got in a bad car accident and couldn't work? Or worse, what if one of us was killed? The kinder we are to the people around us, the more those people would be willing to help us if something like that happened.
I'm sorry, what does that hypothetical have to do with letting Nellie get away with stealing? I really can't see the connection at all. I would never even think to steal from my benefactors, no matter how hard life got for me.
Okay, maybe I'm not exactly putting it into words as best as I can, but I don't know, I just think we need to be the bigger person and let it slide. You're being way too hard on her, I'd say. She's my sister, after all.
I understand how you feel, Kyle, but I think it's time we transition away from monetary support. We can help her look for work, help her out looking after her kid, that sort of thing. I'll bet there are plenty of government programs she could take advantage of, too. I can help her look for some.
Well, I'm pretty sure she's already doing that by herself.
Then I guess we'll have no choice but to talk to her then. If we don't know what kind of support they need, we won't be able to give it to them.
Wait, let me talk to her first, okay? You see, she kind of told me about her finances in confidence. She doesn't know that I've told you about it yet.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, I'd rather she not know that you know, at least for the time being.
Well, I guess I can see where you're coming from. All right, fine. You go ahead and talk to her first. Be sure to let her know that I'll be willing to help her out in whatever way I can, okay?
I'll do that, Allie.
And again, talk to her sooner rather than later. Melanie is really sad about losing her piggy bank.
You got it. I'll talk to her right away.
Good afternoon, Nellie. I wanted to let you know that we just got a lovely fruit basket delivered to our house. Some of these are really exotic. They look delicious. The tag said that you were the one who ordered it. Is that right? Oh, it arrived. Oh, that's great to hear. We actually just got back from an amazing tropical vacation. We had some of those fruits at our hotel, and we thought you guys might like a taste of the tropics too, so we ordered a whole set to send to your house. Oh, wow. Thank you. I think I might just dig into some of these for dessert tonight. But, if you don't mind me asking, are you sure you guys should be going on a big vacation right now? Oh, let me tell you what. I was not looking forward to traveling with a baby, but the people at the airport were really nice. Did you know they let you carry on a stroller for free? And that boy slept through the whole flight. He basically fell asleep the second we stepped onto the plane. Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that. A tropical vacation, huh? I'll bet everything was pretty expensive. No, we actually paid for everything with the miles my husband had on his credit card. It barely cost us a thing. Right. Listen, I bet you're sick of talking to my husband about this, but, Oh, you mean the money, right? Well, yeah. So, have you thought about my offer at all? Do you want to sit down and try to sort out your finances? Wait, our finances? Yeah, if you've got enough money to go on a tropical vacation, we should be able to make things work. I'll bet if we just change a few things here and there, you'll be able to save up a lot more than you currently are. But before that, I did have one other favor to ask of you. I have been waiting for you to give Melanie's piggy bank back. When can you bring that over? What are you talking about, Allie? Melanie's piggy bank? I don't have it. I didn't even know she had one. Sorry, I'm not following you. I've heard about everything from Kyle, Nellie. He's been giving you a lot of money and even some of my personal things. Huh? He's been giving me money? I wish. I'm still waiting for him to make a single payment on the $20,000 he owes me. It's like squeezing blood from a rock trying to get money out of him. Whoa, wait 1 second. $20,000? That's news to me. Really? You didn't know I lent him $20,000? No! Wow, wow. Yeah, wow is right. He's been telling me that you guys were in serious financial pinch and needed our help. We've been sending you $500 a month for the last few months. I haven't seen one single cent of that money. I don't believe it. Kyle lied to me. Nellie, it looks like we've got a lot to talk about. Would you mind if I came over to your house right now? Definitely. Come over anytime. I think Kyle's been lying to both of us. I want to hear straight from you what's really been going on. Gladly. I'm curious what else he's been telling you, too. I'll put on a pot of tea.
Allie, where are you? You're not at home. Did you go somewhere with Melanie?
Look at the dining room table.
What? What are these, divorce papers? What's the meaning of this?
I thought that would be obvious.
Well, it's not, so start explaining. What's the matter, Allie? What did I do to deserve this?
I think you know.
I'm asking you because I don't know.
Does the number 20,000 mean anything to you?
Oh.
I see that jogged your memory.
Nellie told you?
I keep waiting and waiting, but you never brought back the piggy bank that you told me Nellie had stolen. Then one day I randomly got a massive basket of tropical fruit from her in the mail. We got to talking about this and that, and before long we started to realize that we were both under some misconceptions.
I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry.
So are you finally ready to tell me the truth?
Yeah, I'll tell you everything. You see, there's a friend of mine, and his mom is really sick, like deathly sick. She needs an operation, but her insurance company says they won't cover it. And obviously the surgery costs a fortune, so he asked me if I could help him foot part of the bill. I didn't know where else to turn, so I borrowed the money from Nellie to give to him.
Uh-huh. And why didn't you ever think to talk to me about all of this?
Well, because it's a ton of money.
Uh-huh, right. Well, would you like to try to tell me the truth again, or should I do it for you? Looks like you've chosen the latter option. You borrowed it to give to the girl at the bar, didn't you? And you didn't borrow it from Nellie, you borrowed it from some much shadier people. You just used the money from Nellie to keep them off your back for a while. I've been looking into you for the last week. I know everything. So you can cut with the lies, Kyle. You've got nothing left to hide. So let's start over. Would you like to tell me the whole story now?
I'm so sorry, Allie, but she really was in trouble. I mean it this time. I wanted to do whatever I could to help her.
And she never contacted you again after you handed over the money, right? Not only that, she quit her job at the bar and left town.
How do
I know that? Oh, you want to know? It's simple, really. I went through your phone.
You what? You can't do that. That's a violation of my privacy.
Your privacy? You helped yourself to our family's savings, my personal belongings, and even our daughter's piggy bank. And yet you still want to act all sanctimonious about your privacy? Oh, I have had enough of you, Kyle. I don't want to hear anything else from you but how you're going to pay all that money back.
I'm sorry.
Apologies aren't going to get you anywhere with me. Or your parents. Yes, Kyle, both your mother and your father both know what's going on.
Oh, no. You've got to be kidding me.
You borrowed $20,000 from your younger sister and you have yet to pay back a single cent. No, Kyle, I am definitely not kidding you. You can't blame me either. You were the one who went and dragged your family into this financial mess.
This is bad. What did my dad tell you?
He told me that he had no objections to me divorcing you, and also that he would make sure you paid back both Nellie and me for everything you took from us.
I will. I'll pay back everything, I promise. But please don't divorce me. You're making a huge mistake, Allie. I've been working really hard. I never told you, but I've been working a part-time job on my days off. I'm doing everything I can to pay everything back. So please give me a chance to show you how serious I am. Trust me.
You want me to trust you? After you got deceived by an idiotic lie from the first pretty girl to ask you for money?
All I did was give her money. It's not like I was trying to have an affair or anything.
Is that so? Then you'll have to explain the texts I saved of you asking her out on dates. How can I interpret that any other way than you were trying very hard to have an affair?
Well, the thing is, I just, wanted to go talk to her, see how she was doing, that sort of thing.
You can stop trying to make up excuses, Kyle. You went into debt to give money to a girl you were trying to have an affair with. Not only that, you borrowed and stole from your own family to try and pay it off. I don't need a disaster like you in my life anymore. Get your things packed up and get out of the house.
Allie, please, I'm so sorry. I'll never go to that bar again, or any other bar. I'll never borrow any money again either.
Those are all very good things for you to do, I'd say. Not that it's going to keep me from divorcing you. Good luck in your future endeavors.
Don't talk like that, Allie, after all we've been through. I need you. I can't live without you. I don't know what I'll do without you in my life. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay back all my debts by myself.
Borrowed it of your own accord, Kyle. You're going to have to figure out some way to pay it back on your own.
I never thought she would deceive me like that, though. She told me she would pay it all back to me eventually. I'm a victim too, Allie. Oh God, please don't leave me.
You can call yourself a victim all you want. The fact remains that all of this is your own fault. You used our own goodwill against us and betrayed the trust of your wife and your sister. And the heartless cherry on top of the evil cake is the fact that you even stole Melanie's piggy bank. Are you some kind of psycho? Do you even have a soul? I will never, ever be able to forgive you for everything you've done to your family.
I didn't have any choice, Allie. It's not like I could just come out and admit the whole thing to you. You would have left me on the spot for sure.
You can't have thought you'd be able to keep that a secret from me forever. You were only delaying the inevitable.
I was a complete idiot. I'm truly sorry. I'll never make such a moronic mistake again. Can't you find it in your heart to forgive me?
Never. Not in a million years. I told you, Kyle, I read your texts. You didn't just want to check up on how the girl was doing. You were telling her that you were in love with her.
That's not true! I was never serious about her! You're the only woman I love! Please believe me!
If you really loved me, you wouldn't have done what you did. You stole from me time and time again and told me lie after lie after lie to justify it. Even after you knew you were caught, you still kept trying to lie to me. So no, I won't believe you. I will never believe a thing you say to me ever again. Even after all that, Kyle kept trying to fight the divorce for some time. But once his family got involved, he became much more pliable and consented to the divorce in short order. Right before he signed the divorce papers, he got on his knees and begged me one last time for forgiveness. He seemed so sincere and broken up about it that I almost believed him. Almost. Unfortunately for him, I can't unsee what I saw. I read all of his texts to that girl, all the "I love yous" and the "when can I see yous." So the only feelings I have left for him are hatred and scorn. Right now, Kyle is getting hit from all directions with payments on his original loan, payments to his sister, and alimony and child support payments to me. And out of those, he's currently behind on his payments to his sister and his child support payments. I'm feeling pretty good about my decision to not trust him right now. If he doesn't make his child support payments in the next few days, I am prepared to sue to have his paycheck garnished. I'm not concerned at all about how rough his life gets anymore. I'm going to make sure he fulfills his responsibilities to his daughter. Oh, and one more thing. It turns out Kyle broke Melanie's piggy bank to get the money out, so I had to buy her a new one. What kind of monster does that, really? Melanie's a strong girl, though. She's kept her head high throughout all of this. From now on, I want to devote myself to supporting her more than ever before. Hey, Cody. I finally finished work today, and I am on my way home now. Hopefully I did better this time, though, and won't have to go through more training like before.
You did great. Good job for making it through another tough day. And I'm sure they're never going to have you go through that again. Were you able to get through it without hearing anything annoying from your boss today?
Ugh, no luck there. I ended up getting hassled by the office queen once again. I don't know why she always has to say something rude to me. It's like she thinks it's her right to say whatever she wants to me. Even though some of the things she's saying aren't even right in any environment.
It's probably because you're so cute. She's probably just jealous.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
She's probably jealous of you, so she's being mean to you out of spite. People with ugly hearts always act that way. Honestly, she's probably bitter because she's older and sees someone young and pretty like you. It must be getting under her skin.
You really think so? Could someone seriously be that petty to come after me every day over something like that?
Absolutely, it's a classic case of jealousy. But hey, if it ever gets too much, you can come to me. I'll take care of that office queen for you. I'd be more than happy to help you file a lawsuit against her.
Wait, what? You think that's even possible?
Definitely. If you leave it to me, I'll make sure it's handled. Don't underestimate the power of legal action.
You mean you're actually talking about taking her to court? That sounds so complicated, though. I don't know. Can you really file a lawsuit just because someone is being a bit of a bully at work?
It's simpler than you might think. All you need to do is hire a good lawyer. You know how the U.S. is known as the land of lawsuits, right? Just like in Europe, where people are always using lawyers. Americans should start using them more freely, too. Filing a lawsuit isn't as difficult as it seems, trust me.
I don't really know much about that kind of stuff, but you always seem to know so much about everything. It's reassuring.
If anything ever happens, you can count on me to protect you. Don't hesitate to rely on me more.
That makes me really happy to hear. I feel like if I were to marry you, I'd be safe forever. I'm so glad I met you.
Of course, I'd protect you for life. I even made a promise to your parents when I met them. I told them I would cherish you forever.
That's true, I remember that. Oh, by the way, where are we going for tomorrow's date? I've got the day off, so I'd really love to spend the whole day with you.
Oh, I'm really sorry about this, but it looks like I won't be able to make it tomorrow. The truth is, I've had a fever since this morning, and it still hasn't gone down.
What? You have a fever? How high is it?
It was around 99 degrees earlier. I've also started coughing a bit, so I think I caught a cold from somewhere.
That's a pretty high fever. You must be feeling terrible.
I don't want to risk passing it on to you, so I think we should postpone our date. I want to get better as soon as possible, and I need to rest. I feel bad since we finally got a day off together, but I hope you understand.
Oh, of course I do. Don't even worry about it. Please just rest and focus on getting better. I really appreciate you taking the time to message me, even though you're not feeling well.
Well, I don't want you to feel lonely just because we can't meet up. I figured messaging you would make it a little better.
Thank you for that, but honestly, you need to prioritize yourself right now. You always put me first, so this time, take care of yourself, okay?
I just want to see you smile.
Aw, stop it. You're going to make me blush.
Anyway, I'm just gonna stay home and take it easy tomorrow. I've got to shake this cold off quickly or it'll start affecting my work.
Yes, definitely do that. Do you need me to bring you anything? I could go shopping for you if you need anything.
Thanks, but I'm all set. I just went grocery shopping, so I've got plenty of food. Let's plan to meet up again after I'm feeling better.
Sounds good. Make sure you stay warm and get lots of sleep. Good night. Sorry if I woke you up. Is your apartment number 302, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You haven't moved recently, right? You're still living at the same apartment?
Huh? No, I haven't moved. Why? Did something happen? What's going on?
Well, I'm actually at your apartment building right now.
What? Wait, what do you mean? Why?
I wanted to surprise you by making you some soup. You mentioned before, back when we were still just dating, that if you ever got sick, you'd love it if your girlfriend would come over and take care of you. So I thought maybe I could do that for you today. You know, if you'd like.
Oh, I see. That's really thoughtful of you.
But when I rang the doorbell, some boy I didn't know came out of your apartment. He told me Papa isn't here. Is this your place? And who is this Papa he's talking about?
Oh, that must have been my nephew.
Your nephew? I didn't know you had one. You never mentioned that before.
Yeah, my brother's kid. They don't live nearby, so I don't get to see him much, but that's him.
But wait a minute. Didn't you tell me your brother is single? You've said before that he spends all his money on his hobby, motorcycles. I distinctly remember you saying that.
Well, yeah, he's technically single because he's divorced. He doesn't have a wife anymore, but that doesn't mean he can't have a kid, right? So he's still single, just with a kid. Anyway, because of his job, he's been really busy and had to travel, so he asked me to look after his son.
But I'm just thinking, would someone really leave their kid with someone who's sick? You've got a pretty high fever, don't you? I'm just trying to understand the situation here.
He was desperate and asked me to take him in. I didn't really have much of a choice, you know? Don't worry, though. I'm being really careful and keeping us separate, so the chances of him catching anything from me are slim. I'm taking all the precautions to make sure he doesn't get sick.
Wait, so where are you right now? You told me earlier that you had a high fever. Are you really okay to be out and about?
I'm actually at the hospital right now. The over-the-counter medicine I've been taking isn't working, so I had no choice but to come in. It's kind of bad timing that you dropped by while I'm not home, huh?
Hey, this boy, he looks kind of out of it. He's not looking well at all. He seems really weak, like he's about to collapse. His eyes look empty, and honestly, I'm getting a bit worried about him.
Oh, maybe he caught my cold after all. Or it could be that he's just exhausted from playing too much. He was running around earlier like crazy, having the time of his life. You know how kids are, right?
Is that so?
Yeah, for sure. Don't worry about it. I'll hurry back as soon as I can. Just hang tight, okay?
No, it's all right. You don't have to rush back. I think I'll head home. You need to rest and focus on getting better. There's no need to push yourself just because I'm here. This time, the timing just didn't work out for us.
I feel bad that you came all the way out here and I couldn't even see you. I really appreciate the gesture, though. Thank you so much for thinking of me.
Don't worry about it. I'm the one who showed up without warning. I'm really sorry if I made things more difficult for you. But hey, take care of yourself, okay? I hope you get better soon.
Jolie, you already left, right? I'm really sorry about today having to cancel our date because I came down with a fever. You even came all the way here, but the timing just didn't work out. And on top of that, my nephew was here, so I'm sure you were pretty shocked.
Cody, are you feeling any better?
Yeah, the fever's gone down after I took the medicine I got from the hospital. I think I'm okay now.
But the one with the fever was your child, right? How could you be such a terrible father?
Huh? What are you talking about?
This boy, he's really your child, isn't he?
No, you've got it wrong. He's my nephew, I swear.
Cody, I called the police and had them come to your apartment. They spoke to the boy and he told them that you're his father and that you haven't been home for days. What's going on?
Wait, you didn't actually leave earlier? And why are you trusting everything a kid says? They don't always know what they're talking about.
I pretended to leave. I thought if you suspected something, you'd come home right away. And the boy's behavior was strange, so I felt like something wasn't right. Before you could come back, I wanted to make sure the police could get involved and protect him.
What exactly are you accusing me of here?
We'll find out soon enough whose child this is. The police are already looking into it.
Wait, what?
Cody, just tell me the truth. Who is this boy? What have you been doing to him?
Nothing! I haven't done anything to him!
Then why does he look like this? He is skin and bones, and it seems like he has a fever, too. The police said they considered his condition dangerous enough that they decided to take him to the hospital. His health is in such bad shape that they deemed it necessary to get immediate medical care.
You let them take him to the hospital without even asking me first?
I decided after discussing it with the police, we also notified Child Protective Services. The fact that they approved taking him to the hospital shows how bad his condition was. They believed it was a life-threatening situation, so it was necessary to act quickly and get him to a safe place.
You're blowing this way out of proportion!
Stop trying to dodge this. Just explain already. It's clear to me that this is your child. I want to hear it from you. I want you to tell me what's really going on.
Well, the truth is I'm divorced. My ex-wife left me about 3 years ago.
So that's why you have custody of him now?
Well, I wouldn't say I have custody. It's more like I got stuck with him. I didn't want to take him in, but what choice did I have?
What about when I came over to visit your place? Was he there then? He must have been.
I usually tell him to stay outside when you come over, or if that's not possible, I make him stay in the bathroom.
What? In the bathroom, even at night?
Yeah, I don't want him making a mess all over the place. It's easier to keep things clean that way.
Making a mess? What are you talking about?
Kids are messy. They get things dirty all the time.
But there's no heating or cooling in the bathroom, is there? How could you leave him in there? What were you thinking?
It's fine. The bathroom's indoors. It's not like he's out in the cold. I just tell him to sit still and he's fine.
Cody, do you even realize what you're saying right now? Do you understand that this is a child we're talking about?
Kids are tougher than you think. You wouldn't understand because you don't have kids.
That's not the point. This child is severely underweight and clearly neglected. How long have you been leaving him like this?
It hasn't been that long, just 2 or 3 days maybe?
3 days? And you lied about being sick, didn't you? Where were you really?
Fine, I'll admit it. I was out camping with some friends. I had some vacation days saved up. I completely forgot that we'd made plans for a date. I'm sorry about that.
Why didn't you just tell me the truth from the start? Why did you lie?
There were some girls in the group, and I figured it would be too much hassle to explain everything, so I just said I was sick to avoid a complicated conversation. It was a spur-of-the-moment thing.
Girls? Was this some kind of matchmaking camp or something?
Some people were there for that, but I wasn't. I was just there because they needed more people. I have you, after all. You're my fiancé.
The fact that you felt the need to hide it from me tells me you were up to no good.
No, really, it's just that I wanted to have one last hurrah before we get married, you know? I'm sorry, okay?
I can't believe you. But what you should be apologizing for is not to me, but your child, don't you think?
Him? I don't really care about him.
He's been waiting at home for you this whole time, Cody. Waiting for his dad to come back. Can you even imagine how that must feel?
I don't understand why he left the house. I specifically told him not to go outside.
Maybe because he was desperate for help. He was suffering and probably just hoping that someone would rescue him. Poor thing.
This is such a disaster.
Cody, are you more upset about the fact that the police discovered the existence of your child rather than the fact that he's in critical condition?
Well, you're mad, aren't you?
Of course I'm mad, but not because you hid your child from me. I am furious that you've been mistreating him this whole time. How could you do this?
You're acting like you're all about kids all of a sudden.
Anyone with a heart would be devastated by what's happening here. How can you look at what's happening and feel nothing? Your child is going to be hospitalized until his condition stabilizes. His immune system was weakened and he's caught some kind of infection, too.
Well, thanks for today. You really helped me out with a lot of stuff. I'll make it up to you next time, all right? I'll take you to a really fancy Italian restaurant, something high class.
What are you talking about? You think I'm going to dinner with you after this?
Jolie? Wait, what's wrong?
There's no way I am marrying a criminal like you. I am calling off our engagement.
What? What are you saying? You were so excited about marrying me not too long ago. You even said you couldn't wait to start our life together.
What you did is a crime. You might even get arrested for it. Do you even understand the severity of the situation?
Arrested? Come on, it's not that serious.
A person like you deserves to be locked away in prison. There's no way I'd ever marry someone who treats children like this. My parents would never accept you, so this is it. We're done.
Wait, hold on. Are you really serious about breaking off the engagement? I didn't even do anything to you. Why are you this mad?
Of course I'm angry, and don't act like you didn't lie to me about everything. You even went to some camping trip that was basically a group date.
Okay, I'll admit I messed up and I'm sorry for lying, but I still care about you. I care about our future together.
I can't trust someone who would do such horrible things to a child. What if we have kids in the future? You'd probably treat them the same way.
No, I would never do that. If it were our kids, I'd treat them like they're the most precious thing in the world. I'd be an amazing dad, I swear.
Really? You seriously think you'd be a great father? Your behavior clearly shows you have some major character flaws. I can't marry someone like you.
Wait, is this because you feel bad for my kid? If you're so worried about him, why don't you just become his mom? We could fix everything if we got married.
Excuse me?
Yeah, think about it. You care about the kid, right? You think he's cute and all that. If we get married, you could be his mom and it would solve everything. He'd have a proper family and you wouldn't have to worry anymore.
Are you out of your mind? You are completely delusional. You seriously think I'd marry you after all this just to become a stepmom? I'd rather stay single forever than be stuck with someone like you.
Jolie, what happened to you? You used to love me so much. Is this really you? I can't believe this is happening. You're breaking my heart.
The moment I realized what you did to that poor child, everything changed. I can never forgive someone who harms a defenseless kid. You need to stay in prison and think about what you've done for a long time.
Wait, am I really going to be arrested?
Yes, that's what I've been telling you.
Why, though? This is insane. You're blowing things way out of proportion. It was just discipline, that's all it was.
Discipline? If you think what you did qualifies as discipline, then you absolutely deserve to be arrested. Society will be a better place if you're behind bars.
I don't want to go to prison. My life will be over if that happens. I'll be ruined. How will I survive that? I'll be done for.
It's your own fault. You've already ruined yourself with your actions, so you might as well accept it. You've brought this on yourself.
Jolie, please. Please help me. Talk to the police. Tell them I'm a good dad. I can't go to jail. I just can't.
I am not going to say anything to help you. There is no way I'd lie for you.
Come on, don't be like this. Haven't I been good to you all this time?
If you're so worried about going to prison, why don't you hire a lawyer and fight it? Isn't that what you said you'd do before? Weren't you bragging about how you could handle anything in court?
That was just me talking big. I don't know anything about court or legal stuff. I was just trying to impress you back then.
I can't believe I once respected you. I am embarrassed forever thinking highly of you. But now I don't care about you at all anymore. I hope prison teaches you a lesson, Cody. Maybe some real consequences will finally get through to you.
Jolie, please, I'm begging you, don't leave me like this. I'll change, I swear. Just help me this one time.
I'm done with you. You're going to have to face the consequences of your actions alone. I want nothing more to do with you. You deserve everything that's coming to you. In the days that followed, Cody's child was finally placed in protective custody at a facility designed to provide safety and care for those in need. It was a relief to know that the child would now have a secure environment, one where they could feel safe and loved, something they had been deprived of for far too long. As someone who had once been a part of their life, even in a small way, I felt a deep sense of responsibility toward their well-being. Although I no longer had a direct connection to the situation, the need to do something for the child gnawed at me. With that in mind, I made the decision to donate to the facility where the child had been placed. I thought about how my small contribution could help, whether it was used for therapy, clothing, food, or just any resources that would make their stay a little more comfortable. Although I understand that my monetary donation would not erase the trauma that they had experienced or magically heal the emotional scars they carried, it was the only gesture I could make in that moment. I often wondered whether it was enough, feeling its insignificance in the grand scheme of things, but it was the best I could do. The aftermath of what had happened weighed heavily on my mind. I found myself replaying the events over and over, reflecting on how I could have been so oblivious to the signs that indicated something was seriously wrong. I thought about the child and the pain they had endured, and I couldn't shake the guilt that settled deep within me. Even though I was not the one who had inflicted harm, I felt a sense of responsibility for not seeing the truth sooner. What could I have done differently? Could I have saved them from this nightmare? As I learned more about the child's situation after they were examined at the facility, I was devastated to hear that numerous scars had been found on their body. These scars were a haunting mix of old and new, telling a story of prolonged suffering at the hands of someone who should have been their protector. The doctors and social workers described the state the child was in as severe, and even though I knew it was bad, hearing it confirmed in such stark terms shook me to my core. The realization that a sweet, innocent child had endured such pain was unbearable. Cody's actions were inexcusable, and there was no way to justify the cruelty they had displayed. There's a difference between being flawed and making mistakes in a relationship and subjecting an innocent child to such violence and neglect. I struggled to comprehend what could have led someone to inflict such harm. The anger I felt toward Cody burned brightly within me, and while I knew that holding on to that anger wouldn't change anything, I found it hard to let go. It was still raw and justified. After the truth came to light, Cody was arrested, and I took some solace in knowing that they would face consequences for their actions. In my mind, this was the least that should happen. Someone who could do such terrible things did not deserve freedom. I hoped and prayed that justice would be served and that Cody would be held accountable for every instance of abuse. It gave me a measure of comfort to know that he could no longer harm that child or anyone else. Still, I couldn't shake the feelings of guilt and helplessness that plagued me. Of course, my engagement to Cody ended immediately after the revelations came to light. There was no other option. The man I had once loved had turned out to be a monster, and the realization that I had been so blind to his true nature weighed heavily on me. I spent countless nights replaying our relationship in my mind, trying to pinpoint when I should have seen the signs and realized that something was terribly wrong. The sad truth was that I didn't see anything. The phrase "love is blind" has never felt more accurate. I was completely unaware of the danger lurking beneath the surface of our relationship. As I reflected on my relationship with Cody, I came to understand the depth of my naivety. I missed the warning signs, ignored my intuition, and placed my trust in someone who had not earned it. I realized that I had a lot to learn, particularly when it came to reading people. I couldn't help but feel ashamed of my own inability to see the truth. Moving forward, I vowed to dedicate time to improving myself, both inside and out. I didn't want to just rebuild my self-esteem or heal from the betrayal. I wanted to grow. Part of that growth involved refining my ability to assess character. I wanted to ensure that I would not fall victim to another manipulative person in the future. The experience with Cody had taught me a valuable lesson about trust and discernment. I wanted to cultivate a more discerning eye for the people I allowed into my life. Recognizing that not everyone deserves the benefit of the doubt, I knew I had to become wiser, stronger, and more critical when it came to relationships. It became clear to me that self-care was not just about pampering oneself, but also about recognizing one's own worth, setting boundaries, and knowing when to walk away from toxic situations. The scars I carried from this experience would serve as constant reminders of what I had endured, but they also motivated me to change. I wanted to learn how to take better care of myself, physically, emotionally, and mentally. As I continued to reflect on my past with Cody, I recognized that my intuition had been trying to tell me something all along. It was there, quietly urging me to pay attention, to listen to that nagging feeling in the back of my mind. I realized that my next step was to embrace that intuition and trust it. I had to train myself to be more aware of the warning signs that might indicate trouble in a relationship, and I vowed to never ignore them again. I also began to understand the importance of surrounding myself with supportive people who genuinely cared about my well-being. Friends and family who would not only lift me up, but also call me out if I ever started to stray down a dark path again. The process of healing and rebuilding would require a strong support network, and I knew that I needed to seek out those who would encourage me to be the best version of myself. As time went on, I made a conscious effort to embrace self-love and acceptance. I wanted to learn how to appreciate myself for who I was, flaws and all. It was essential to acknowledge that I had made mistakes, but those mistakes did not define me. They were a part of my journey, but they were not the whole story. I needed to be kinder to myself and recognize that everyone has their own struggles. In the end, I came to terms with the fact that I could not change the past or undo the harm that had been done to that child. I could only learn from my experiences and move forward with the hope of becoming a better person. I continued to pray for the child's well-being, wishing for them to grow up healthy and strong, free from the shadows of their past. I also prayed for the strength to forgive myself for the mistakes I had made, hoping that one day I would find peace within. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Tell me, Sharon, how long are you planning on living in that house? You can't keep this up forever.
Good morning, Mom. Yeah, we aren't planning on staying here forever. It's a nice apartment, but we're probably not going to renew the lease when it expires. We just thought that it would be way too chaotic to try and find a house while also planning our wedding. So yeah, this is just a temporary thing.
That's not what I'm talking about. Oh my goodness, you are dense. I'm talking about your marriage with my son. How long are you going to stay with him?
That's an odd question. I'm pretty sure that at our wedding, we both accepted the till death do us part thing in our vows. Plus, we've only been married for a month now, so I'm not really sure what you're expecting me to say to a question like that, Mom.
What I expect is for you to set my poor son free as soon as possible. I made myself very clear, Sharon. I do not give my blessing to your relationship, and I never will.
Yes, Mom. You have been very, very clear about that from the time we first started dating.
Apparently, it hasn't gotten through to you. I was explicit in ordering the two of you to break up, but what did you do? You not only kept right on dating, you got engaged, and you even got married. Every step of the way I voiced my opposition, and you consistently ignored my wishes.
You were upfront about your wishes, Mom, and likewise, we were upfront about ours. You might have opposed our marriage, but your husband was much more understanding. Not to mention, we invited you to the wedding, and you attended.
Do you think I wanted to attend that farce of a wedding? I only went in order to save face in front of my relatives. I didn't want to be known forever as the woman who didn't go to her own son's wedding. That's not the issue anyway. The issue is that the two of you have been acting as though you don't need my permission to get married.
Well, there's a very good reason for that. We don't need your permission. Don't get me wrong, though. I would love nothing more than the day to come that you'll relent and accept me as your son's wife. But this isn't your marriage. It's ours. The fact is that your son Isaiah and I love each other and want to be married. I fully intend to be the best possible wife I can be for him. I hope you'll come to recognize that in time.
There is nothing you can say or do that will ever make me approve of you. The reason I'm so opposed to your relationship is the one thing that you can never fix: your age. You are 6 years older than my Isaiah. Will that gap ever be closed, Do you think you can subtract years from your age by cooking or cleaning well enough?
Well, no, I guess not.
What on earth were you two fools thinking getting married to each other? When you were in the 8th grade, Isaiah was still in the 2nd grade. A middle school girl dating an elementary school child? How could you possibly develop romantic feelings for someone so much younger than yourself?
While true, I'm not sure what that has to do with anything. In case you haven't noticed, we're not in grade school anymore. We're both adults, and 6 years isn't that much of an age gap anyway. There are people all over the place in relationships with bigger age gaps than that.
Commonality is not equivalent to morality. Your relationship is an affront to the laws of nature.
That seems like a wee bit of an overstatement, but moving on. I have to admit that I do understand where you're coming from. I had my reservations about the age difference between us at first, but the more time we spent together, the more we came to realize that we were meant for each other.
Listen to yourself, Sharon. You are 33 years old. 33! And here you are talking about love like you're some starstruck schoolgirl. It's time for you to face reality. A woman's role in a marriage is to give birth to healthy children. At your age, you won't even be capable of that for very much longer. If, that is, you're even capable right now.
We certainly would love to be blessed with children, but even in the event we aren't so fortunate, we're going to stay together until the very end.
At your age, you'd have to be very fortunate to get pregnant, much less give birth to a healthy baby.
Then we'll all have to keep our fingers crossed.
In any case, I do not accept you as my daughter-in-law. I will never understand why Isaiah chose you. He is handsome, intelligent, hard-working, successful. He could have had any woman he wanted, and yet he went and married an old maid like you.
I understand that I'm not the kind of wife that you expected for your son. But like I told you, I'll work as hard as I can to get you to see that Isaiah and I are meant to be together.
Ugh, this is exactly why I wanted Isaiah to marry a younger woman. Old maids just talk and talk and talk, and then when they're finished talking, they talk some more. They never listen to a word anyone says. They just keep on jabbering on, even when what comes out of their mouth is utter gibberish. Nothing but talk, talk, talk. That's all you are.
Right. Well, for what it's worth, I am serious about wanting to prove myself to you.
Don't waste your breath. You might have managed to put Isaiah and that foolish husband of mine under your spell, but I won't be so easily deceived. I know exactly what you are. A filthy old woman who selfishly married a man 6 years her junior. I swear on my life I will get the rest of my family to see the truth about you.
Hello, Mom. I wanted to ask you about something. Could I have a minute of your time?
Why, hello, Sharon. I wonder what this could be about.
The way you say that makes it seem like you already know. I just got back from shopping a few minutes ago, and I found a stack of pictures of women with names, phone numbers, and profiles.
Oh, I'm glad you found them. I was worried the wind might have blown them away. What do you think? Aren't they so young, vivacious, and beautiful? They're all daughters of my friends. They come from very good families, too. I thought they'd be perfect for a young man in his 20s like my George.
Mom, don't you think you've taken this a bit too far? And by a bit, I mean way too far. It would be one thing if he was single, but George and I are married. Neither George nor I have any interest in romantic relationships with anyone else. And think about what you're doing to those poor girls. You're trying to hook them up with a married man?
A currently married man, something I aim to remedy as soon as possible. I'd say you should let George decide for himself whether or not he's interested in any of them. Who knows? Maybe the girl of his dreams is in that stack of profiles, and your concern for them is misplaced. I showed them all a picture of my boy, and their reactions were very positive. They said they'd love an opportunity to go out to dinner with a man as handsome as he is, so they're not opposed to my plan either. You're the only one objecting. Now be a dear and hand those pictures to George once he gets home, will you?
Mom, you know that there's no way I'm going to do that. And, by the way, I also found a stack of flyers for divorce attorneys in our mailbox the other day. Let me guess. That was your doing too, wasn't it?
What's that? Divorce attorneys? I haven't the slightest idea what you're talking about. Why do you think I'm the one who requested those? Maybe George is the one who's looking for a divorce attorney.
Isaiah is even more upset about all of this than I am. He's not the type of man who would do something like that to make me afraid he's going to divorce me.
Have you stopped to consider the possibility that he really does want to divorce you? I've been working overtime telling him what an awful choice for a wife you were. Perhaps my work has been a success. Maybe he finally sees you for the old hag that you are.
That is absolutely not the case. We've only been married for 3 months, Mom. I don't think he's looking to divorce me already.
If anything, that makes my assessment even more likely. You've only had 3 months to develop a marital bond between you. That means Isaiah shouldn't have much of a problem leaving you at all. Some people get married and regret it the next day, you know. Do you honestly think that someone with your looks and personality could hold on to George's heart forever? You're delusional, borderline narcissistic if you ask me.
I'm not asking you, and I trust my husband. I know he's going to be faithful to me.
Sharon, dear, the next time you're out on the town, you need to take a good look at the people around you. There's an ample supply of girls out there who are younger and prettier than you ever were, even in your youth. And seeing as you're over 30 now, you've far exceeded your peak beauty. There is nowhere to go but downhill for you. You can buy as many stylish clothes and apply as much makeup as you'd like, but it's never going to change the fact that you're an old woman.
I'm aware of that.
Really, you don't seem to be aware at all. I think you've let the fact that my son settled for marrying you go to your head. And another thing, I distinctly remember hearing a while back that you make George do the cooking on his days off. Is that true? Do you make George do chores like that all the time?
Well, we both have jobs, so we do share the housework, yeah. We take turns in doing the laundry, dishes, vacuuming, all that stuff.
Unbelievable. What do you mean you both have jobs? You don't have a real job. You work at home.
Yes, I do work from home. That's why I have a home office set up for myself in the basement. I'm pretty sure we've been over this before, though.
Nonsense. If you're home all day, there's nothing stopping you from doing all the housework. Why are you making my son do the cooking when he already works to support the both of you?
I'm not making him do anything. Isaiah likes to cook. It's sort of a hobby of his. A few months ago, he saw a recipe online that he wanted to try making, and it turned out really good. Ever since then, he's been trying out new recipes just about every week. So I don't have to tell him to do anything. He volunteers for it.
Well, you just have a response for everything, don't you? Such an argumentative woman. There's another symptom of being an old woman. If only George had married a woman closer to his age. A younger woman would have done as I told her, for sure. She certainly wouldn't put up a fuss like this.
I don't think age has anything to do with a woman obeying her mother-in-law or not.
And there you go, arguing with me again. Thank you for yet again proving me right.
You can't just throw out a baseless accusation and call me argumentative when I deny it.
What on earth was George thinking, marrying a woman like you? I don't understand his tastes in women at all. I thought I had raised him to have more common sense than this.
One of the many things that made me attracted to Isaiah was how he was always more interested in my personality than in my looks. The age gap between us never really mattered very much. We like each other as individuals.
Yes, I'm sure that's what you tell yourself to help you sleep at night, but you know deep down that men like young women. It's the way of the world. Men prefer younger women, women prefer older men. People like you are mere aberrations. I know that sooner or later George will come to his senses and realize what a fool he was to marry some old maid like you.
Well, too bad. I'm going to be the best wife I can be and see to it that that never happens.
What are you going to do? Get plastic surgery or something? Actually, you know what? That might not be such a bad idea. You should probably get on that as soon as possible if you want to save your marriage.
Our marriage doesn't need saving, and you're being incredibly rude.
Hard as it may be to hear, all I'm telling you is the simple truth. Anyway, do be a dear and show those profiles to George, will you? The sooner he sees what options he has, the sooner he'll put an end to his foolishness with you. Sharon, we need to have a conversation. I just got a message from George a little while ago. He told me he doesn't want me sending you any private messages anymore. You're the one who put him up to this, aren't you? You must have been nagging him for days to get him to say that to me.
No, Mom, I was not nagging him.
Huh, as if I would believe you. Old women who marry young men are always just looking for a lackey to boss around. What did you threaten him with, Sharon? Divorce? Denial of affection?
I did not threaten him either. The problem here isn't with me, Mom. The problem is with your behavior getting more and more out of control by the day.
Excuse me? How dare you talk to me like that?
Mom, please. I know that you've been spreading awful rumors around our neighborhood lately.
Rumors? What rumors? I have no idea what you're talking about.
You can drop the act, Mom. You've been telling our neighbors that I'm physically abusive, that my spending has put us deep in debt. I've lost count of how many people have complained to me about you stopping them on their way out the door to tell some new ridiculous story about me.
You can't prove it was me. I'd say it's more likely that all your neighbors just hate you. If you were a decent neighbor, they wouldn't be spreading rumors about you, would they?
They all gave me the exact same description of the person who was doing it, and it matches you perfectly. Not to mention, they also said you came up to them and introduced yourself as my husband's mother.
I suppose they'd believe a person who told them they were the Queen of England, too.
Whatever you say. But just for the record, if this keeps up, I promise you that I will sue you for slander.
What? You would sue your own mother-in-law? Are you threatening me?
It's not a threat.
You really are a nasty woman, Sharon. I knew you'd be like this from the moment I laid eyes on you. Old women are all alike, always scheming and manipulating.
Again, age has nothing to do with that.
Ah, well, then I suppose it must be just your awful personality. By the way, you invited us to a dinner party tomorrow, right? What sort of vile trap have you laid for us this time?
The dinner party wasn't my idea.
But if it wasn't you, then whose idea was it? In any case, I'm not coming. I don't feel like looking at your ugly old face right now, so don't wait up for me. You'll be waiting forever. I am not coming.
I hope you reconsider. It would be a shame for you not to be in attendance of your own going-away party.
What? My going-away party?
That's right. Your husband and son made the arrangements for the dinner party, so they could say their farewells to you.
I don't understand. What are you trying to say?
I thought I was speaking pretty clearly.
Why on earth would my husband and son be saying their goodbyes to me?
I'd say it probably has something to do with your deplorable behavior over the years. Remember the day your son took me to your house to announce our engagement? You were furious about me being older than him, and you threw a cup of tea on me. And then there's how you treated my parents at our wedding. Do you have any idea how it made them feel to have their own son-in-law's mother insult their daughter like that? Oh, and remember the girls you tried to introduce to George? I talked to them, and not a single one of them knew that George was a married man. And each and every time your behavior hurt the people around you, your husband was the one who had to clean up your mess.
What did I do wrong exactly? Everything I did was to protect my son.
Regardless of your intentions, your husband has been telling you to knock it off all this time. Am I right?
I can't believe you. You turned my own son and husband against me? What evil lie did you tell them about me? Or perhaps you used seduction.
What are you going on about now?
You want to play rough, Sharon? Fine. I'll go ahead and attend your little party, and I hope you're ready for what's coming to you. I'm going to show both George and my husband what a vile old woman you've been to me.
By all means, go right ahead.
I'm going to put an end to your relationship with my son once and for all. I won't just sit by and allow an old harpy like you to steal my family away from me. I'll make you regret you ever crossed me, Sharon. Hello, Sharon. Do you have a moment? I had a proposal to make, and I wanted to hear what you think about it.
Good afternoon, Mom. If I recall correctly, we told you at dinner the other day that you were never allowed to contact me again.
Well, yes, that's true, but just hear me out. I listened to the things that George and my husband had to say to me that day, and when I got to thinking about it, I finally saw where they're coming from.
I see.
I know I may have said some things in the past about you being older than my son, and about you being talkative, argumentative, and manipulative, but I've decided to give my blessing to your marriage.
Oh?
That's right. I'll give you my consent to marry my son. Now, I'm not asking for this in return, per se, but could you perhaps convince George and my husband not to disown me?
Oh boy. This is really, really sad. You realize the position that you're in right now, right?
Of course I do. Why else would I be doing something like this?
If you really understand the position that you're in, you wouldn't be making a proposal to me. You'd be making a heartfelt apology.
Apologize? Me? For what?
For being a complete menace to everyone around you, for starters.
Oh, don't be hyperbolic. I haven't been a menace to anyone.
We went over all of this the other day. You were so desperate to break up my marriage to your son that you caused a world of trouble for your family, my family, your friends, my neighbors, everyone. And as a result, your husband had to go around and apologize to all of them each and every time you acted up. You've gone out of your way time after time to try and convince Isaiah to divorce me. And not to mention, you've been personally cruel to me more times than I can count. So no, I don't think you understand the position you're in. Not in the slightest.
Everything I've done, everything I've ever done, was all for my son's happiness. What's wrong with that?
Okay. If you're really convinced that you're in the right, then I guess there's nothing I can say to change your mind, and this conversation is over.
Are you listening to me? My husband is going to make me move out of the house, and George says he never wants to see me again.
And you only have yourself to blame.
I don't understand what you're being so stubborn about. I'm telling you that I'm going to allow you to stay married to my son. This is what you've wanted all along, right? You should be thrilled.
I wanted that before, yeah, but now it doesn't matter to me anymore.
But why?
Because Dad and Isaiah are both saying that they no longer consider you to be a part of our family.
They're just saying that to make a point. They don't mean it. It's all an act. They're trying to scare me into approving of your marriage.
If you're so convinced it's just an act, then why are you contacting me like this right now?
Because I never thought they would take it as far as they have.
I see. So you're making this grand proposal to me because you're scared then?
I've tried talking to them, but nothing gets through. They won't listen to a word I say.
Wow. That sounds like you, Mom. We've tried to talk to you how many times now, and yet you never listened to a word we said. Anyway, thanks for the offer, but I'll pass. I don't need you to approve of our relationship anymore. Now, I expect you to live up to your promise and never contact me again. Just in case, I'm going to go ahead and block your phone number so you're not tempted.
Sharon, please, wait. All right, you win. I didn't want to do this, but I'll apologize. I'm sorry for everything. I'm very, very sorry, okay?
Thank you for apologizing, Mom. That means a lot to me.
So you'll put in a good word for me with my husband and son, right?
I'm sorry. Did I say I would do that if you apologized? I don't recall making such a promise.
What more do you want from me? I just apologized to you.
This isn't the kind of situation that can be fixed by you apologizing, Mom. Your husband and son are furious at you for how you've been treating me, yes, but this isn't something that just started recently. It goes back much further to the way you've been treating them over the years.
I have been nothing but the best mother and wife I could possibly be.
If that's really the best you could possibly be, wow, you've set the bar pretty low for yourself. You made your husband clean up your mess whenever you committed a social faux pas, which happened pretty frequently. You dedicated yourself to convincing your son to divorce me, and you barely do any of the housework despite never having worked a day in your life. And then at dinner the other night, you made completely fabricated claims of me having an affair. Did you think they would put up with this behavior of yours forever? They've had enough.
I told you that was all done to protect my family. I did it for them.
And my husband is doing this to protect me. You said and did terrible things to me, the person Isaiah chose to spend the rest of his life with. If my parents did the same things to Isaiah that you've done to me, then I would be doing like Isaiah is now and disowning them. I don't see how any rational person could do otherwise.
But, George is so young. He would be so much happier if he had a younger wife than you. And what about you, Sharon? Surely you'd be happier with someone closer to your own age, wouldn't you? I know that both of you would be much happier with different people. I was trying to help you both find happiness.
You don't know that. You assumed it, and we all know what assuming does.
Please, Sharon, please. From now on, I'll accept you as a fully fledged member of the family. So please do something. You've got to talk sense into those two men.
I don't think that anything I said would change either of their minds at this point. What your husband and your son want is for you to disappear as soon as possible. They both have their minds made up. So if you're really interested in doing what's best for the family, there's only one thing for you to do. Disappear. After that, my father-in-law kicked my mother-in-law out of their house. Furthermore, he told her that he intends to divorce her as soon as possible. This is something that's between the two of them, so I don't know all the details. But it seems like my mother-in-law has been getting on her husband's nerves for some time now. She has this image of a wife as more of a princess than a life partner. That's why she barely ever lifts a finger around the house, and why she expected George to marry some young trophy wife like she sees herself being. Me being over 30 and having actual employable skills means that I was nowhere close to fitting her ideal image of a wife for her son. My father-in-law had put up with her for a while, but he finally got tired of her spoiled, rotten attitude, and Isaiah feels the same way. I don't imagine my father-in-law will waste much time in hiring a divorce attorney. Having finally been freed from my mother-in-law's nastiness, Isaiah and I are finally able to live our lives as newlyweds in peace and harmony. Oh, and some more good news. I found out the other day that I'm pregnant. Isaiah and I are happier than we ever imagined. Although, I can't help but imagine what awful things my mother-in-law would have done to me if she found out about this. Fortunately, though, I don't think I'll have to worry about that. Isaiah filed for a restraining order against his mother on my behalf, which the judge quickly granted. So, if for whatever reason she tries to interfere in our lives, all I need to do is contact the police, and she'll be swiftly carried off to prison, where she belongs. So, while I'm not too worried about that, I still need to be careful. For now, I just want to focus on giving birth to this baby and becoming the best mother I can possibly be.
Hey, Daniel. Hope you're having a good day at work. I was wondering, would you mind stopping by the store and picking up a pack of toilet paper on your way home? The roll in the bathroom's almost gone, and when I looked in the closet, we didn't have any more.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Now that I think about it, we haven't gotten any more since we moved here. All we had was what we brought from the old house. Gotcha. I'll pick some up then. Thanks for reminding me. Is there anything else we need around the house as long as I'm going to the store? Toiletries, food, anything?
No, I think all we really need right now is toilet paper. Although we did just move here, so I'll bet there'll be something else we'll need before too much longer. I'm sorry, Daniel. You've done practically all of the work getting things sorted out in our new place. I shouldn't be asking you to do all the shopping for me, too.
Don't worry about it. I mean, you are pregnant after all, and not just pregnant, like really pregnant. Our baby's gonna be born any time now. I don't mind doing anything that'll make life easier for you, so let me know if there's ever something you need.
Don't you think you're worrying a little bit too much about me? I'm pregnant. It's not like I'm bedridden or anything. I'm perfectly capable of pulling my weight around the house.
It's not just about the pregnancy. It's been a rough couple of months for you. You know, all those creepy letters we kept getting in the mailbox? It's almost like someone started stalking you all of a sudden. Combined with being pregnant, I'm sure it must have been a pretty tough emotional burden to bear.
Well, yeah, you're right. But we don't need to worry about that anymore. The letters stopped coming after we moved, didn't they? So it was pretty stressful for a while. Now that it's over, I feel way better. I'm all right, Daniel. You don't need to worry about me anymore.
Moving before you gave birth was definitely the right choice.
Yeah, you can say that again. I never in my wildest dreams thought that I would have someone coming after me like that once I got pregnant.
Yeah. Hey, about that. Are you really sure that you don't want to go to the police about those letters?
They stopped coming through. What are the police going to do about it now? There's nothing for them to investigate. If anything, I'd worry about whoever it was escalating things if he finds out the police are involved. I mean, neither of us has any clue who it could be. It's a total mystery. It could be anybody.
I guess if you put it that way. But seriously, though, what was wrong with that guy? Like, who goes out of his way to try and scare a happily married woman into divorcing her husband? If he did it to you, chances are he'll do it again to someone else if he isn't stopped. If it were up to me, I think it'd be worth at least going and talking to the police about it. Who knows, maybe this guy is involved in some other case.
No, really, Daniel, it's okay. I'll be going to stay with my parents next week anyway. Sure, it was pretty scary at first, but now that it's over, I honestly just think it was some weirdo sending random letters for fun. He probably didn't even know who I was or that I was married. That, or it was someone who didn't like us for some weird reason. Maybe it was a neighbor who thought we were too noisy or something.
I don't know.
In any case, there's no shortage of total weirdos in this country. We just happened to be unlucky enough to be targeted by one. But it's over now, so there's no use thinking about it anymore.
All right, if you say so. But promise me, May, if you ever notice anything or anyone around you that seems out of the ordinary, you let me know right away, okay?
Okay, Daniel. I'll be sure to let you know.
And yeah, you'll definitely be in safe hands at your folks' place. It's a 3-hour drive away from here. There's no way it would be worth the trouble to follow you all the way out there.
That, and there will be someone in the house with me 24/7, so I'll always have help nearby in the worst-case scenario.
Yeah, but man, it's gonna get really lonely around here with you gone for the next 2 months.
I know, but we already talked about this and came to an understanding, right? Women in my family have a high risk of post-birth complications, so it's for the best to have someone knowledgeable about it with me to help out just in case. And besides, you'll be coming over there to visit every week, right?
Yeah, definitely. If I could, I'd just go and stay over there with you.
As much as I'd love for that to be possible, you know that's not going to work out with your work schedule. You would be absolutely exhausted from the long commutes. 3 hours each way basically doubles the length of your workday.
Yeah, but I promise I'll be coming down there every Saturday and Sunday to be with you. Also any holidays and other days I have off too.
But don't overdo it, okay? I know this time of year is really busy for your company. Make sure you eat well when I'm gone too. I don't want to come back home to a mountain of fast food wrappers. Oh, and you know how to use the laundry machine, right? Do you need me to show you how?
Good grief, you're my wife, May, not my mother. Yes, Mommy, I'll be sure to eat all my green vegetables and wash my hands before and after dinner. Don't worry, I won't do anything that'll make you have to raise our baby by yourself, okay?
You'd better not. I can't take care of a kid by myself. What would I do without you?
Hey, sorry, May, I gotta run. I just got a work call. I'll pick up toilet paper on the way home. Let me know if you need anything else.
Gotcha. See you later. Take care on your way home.
Hey there, May. Sorry to text you so late. Are you still awake?
Yep, I'm still awake. How was your day, Daniel? Don't tell me you just got home right now.
Okay, I won't tell you.
Uh-oh, I guess you were pretty busy at work today.
Absolutely swamped.
You poor thing. Well, you rest all you need to tonight then. I was just about to take a bath and go to bed myself.
I'm really glad you went and stayed with your folks, May. It sounds like you're getting plenty of well-earned rest and relaxation.
They're spoiling me like my grandma and grandpa always used to do. So let's hear it, Daniel. Have you eaten all your green vegetables today?
I knew that was coming. No, I haven't yet, but I'm gonna soon, so get off my back, okay?
I don't know. I'm gonna need some video evidence of you putting something green in your mouth in order to believe you. Remember, the baby's going to be born next week. You can't go and get sick on me or you'll miss the whole show.
I said don't worry, sheesh. May, there's something I feel like I should tell you.
Oh? I'm not sure I like the sound of that. Did something happen?
Man, I really wasn't sure whether I should tell you about this or not, but I guess you deserve to know. I ran into this super weird guy in front of our apartment building just now.
Really?
Yeah, and he was asking me where you were.
What? Oh no. Do you think it's the guy who was sending those letters?
That was my first thought, too. I asked him who he was and why he wanted to know, and all he told me was that you two used to go to school together. I have no way of knowing whether that's true or not, though. I was just about to confront him head-on about those letters, but before I had the chance, he just wandered off.
Thank goodness he did. What were you thinking? You can't confront a guy like that directly. Who knows what he would have done to you? It's for the best that you just let him walk away.
Sorry, it's just, I got so mad, I felt like I had to do something. Plus, when I looked at him, he didn't look crazy or anything, so I figured it would be safe to talk to him.
You can't judge whether someone's crazy or not based off just their appearance. Think of all the famous serial killers who looked like totally normal guys. If he ever comes back again, you need to ignore him. Promise me.
All right, I promise. But in any case, it really concerns me that he already knows our new address. What do you think, May? Do you know of any of your old classmates who would do something like this? He was pretty average height, average build. Not much stood out about him at all, really. I guess he had kind of droopy eyes. That ring a bell?
Sorry, no, I can't think of anyone with just that information.
Did you ever have any guys ask you out back then? Or did you hear any rumors about someone having a crush on you?
A few people. It might be my ex-boyfriend.
Wait, you went to a class reunion just a little while before we found out you were pregnant. Did you see him there?
Well, I mean, it was a class reunion. He was there, yeah, but I just said hi to him, that's all.
I wonder if that was when he started setting his sights on you.
I don't know, it's been over 10 years since we broke up.
You've probably put it all behind you, but he might be a different story.
You might be right. I think I might ask around to some of my high school friends, see if they've heard anything through the grapevine. We still don't even know for sure that it's him.
Okay, that's a good idea. And May, if you find out for sure that it's him, we really should go to the police.
But Daniel, we have no idea how he'll react to being confronted. He might take the hint and knock it off, but he might take things even further. Can't we just ignore him? If we keep avoiding him, he'll give up eventually.
May, he's already shown himself willing to send you threatening letters and come directly to the house.
I know, but still, I don't want to risk aggravating him into doing something really bad. Our baby is going to be born next week, remember?
May, I think we need to take this more seriously.
It's not doing us any good going around in circles like this. We can't take any more steps until I talk to my old friends, so let me do that first, okay?
Do you really want to be doing that so close to the birth?
It's all right, you can leave it to me. I have this one friend who I know can get information out of anyone. I'll start with her.
Okay, go ahead then. But remember that your number one priority is yourself and the baby, May.
Trust me, I know. I'll text you as soon as I figure something out.
Yeah, definitely keep me in the loop. If he ever comes around here again, I'll take a picture from a safe distance. That should help you identify him.
Hey, Daniel, is everything okay? You haven't been over here for a few weeks. Are you busy at work still?
Yeah, sorry.
Little Lisa wants to see her daddy. She misses you as much as I do.
I'll bet she is. I'm sorry. But I think I probably won't be able to get over there until around the time you were planning to come back over here.
Wait, really? You had said that you were going to come and pick me up and help me move back. What's happening with that? Will you still be able to do that?
Sorry, but no. I hate to ask you this, but could you get your dad to help you with that?
Daniel, you've only come over here once for the birth and one more time after that. What's going on with you? I understand that you're really busy with work and I respect that, but I'm lonely.
Sorry, May.
Don't you have anything else to say to me but sorry? Seriously, what's going on? Are you really that busy?
I have more on my plate right now than I ever imagined possible.
Oh, I'm sorry, Daniel. I was being really selfish just now, wasn't I? It's all right. As excited as I am for the three of us to be together, I can wait. Plus, now that we know that it was my ex-boyfriend who was bothering us, we don't need to worry about him anymore. He promised my friend that he would never interfere in our lives ever again.
That was a huge relief.
Seriously, though, what a creeper. Who does he think he is? Just because we dated for a while, he thinks he has the right to try and get me to divorce you? I'm ashamed that I ever dated him in the first place.
I'll bet.
Daniel, is there something else going on? I know you're busy, but you're acting off. And it's not just today. You've been like this for a while now.
I told you, May, I'm absolutely swamped at work. It's insane.
You always used to put me before your work, though. What changed?
I don't know. Got any ideas?
There you go again. You would never just casually brush off my concerns like that.
I'm telling you, May, I'm just busy, that's all. I really don't have any time to be talking to you like this. Do you think you could leave me alone for a while?
What? Daniel! How can you talk to me like that? I just gave birth, you know.
Yeah, I was there for it.
This is insane. You're acting like I'm a complete stranger to you or something. What's gonna happen when I move back home, Daniel? Are you actually gonna be a father to this baby? You're not gonna constantly use your job as an excuse to not be active in her life, are you?
No, I won't.
Do you really mean that? Daniel, are you really prepared to be a father or not?
Am I prepared? I guess I'd have to actually live together with you and the baby in order to know that for sure.
You're incredible. When did you become such a jerk, Daniel? We don't have time for you to be having this identity crisis all of a sudden. Lisa is your daughter. She needs you to step up. I need you to step up.
Sorry, May, my boss is calling me.
Daniel, don't you dare go. I will not allow you to be like this after I move back. So you'd better sort yourself out before I do. I left a bunch of parenting books behind for you. Read them all from cover to cover. If you're too busy to be a father, then I am going to move right back in with my parents until you can find the time. Daniel, I just got back from my parents' house. Would you mind explaining the letter you left for me?
I thought I wrote pretty clearly.
Yeah, well, think again. What is this? I'm not going to allow 1 cent of my hard-earned money to go to you and that child. My dad just read this letter too, and he is furious. I know today is your day off. Wherever you are right now, I don't care. You are going to get back here this instant and explain yourself.
Again, I don't have anything to explain.
Have you completely lost your mind? Do you want to get divorced? How could you, Daniel? We have a baby.
We? Who's we? I don't have a baby.
What?
Congratulations on the birth, May. Oh, and if you wouldn't mind, tell Lisa's dad I said congrats too.
What are you saying?
Lisa isn't my daughter. I heard everything directly from your ex-boyfriend.
Wait, I thought we already settled the issue with him.
You thought wrong. You bumped into your ex at the class reunion, that much was true. But you didn't just say hi. You've met up a bunch after that.
Is that what he told you? And you believed him?
It isn't just what he told me. He showed me the receipts, texts, pictures, everything. You ghosted him when you found out you were pregnant. But based on the estimated birth date, it's far more likely that he's the father. He figured that out too, and that's when he started pressing you to get back together with him.
That's not true. You're Lisa's father.
Are you at least prepared to admit you cheated on me?
I'm sorry, but Lisa really is yours. I mean it.
I wanted to think so too, and that's why I had a paternity test done.
No.
And that settled it. Lisa isn't mine. It was the worst day of my life when I found out. Sure, you cheated on me, but if Lisa were mine, I would stay with you just for her.
She's really not yours?
My lawyer will present you with all the evidence soon.
Lawyer? Daniel, no. I don't want to divorce you.
Then you shouldn't have cheated on me.
I know I was wrong, but you're the one I really love. It's just, when I met up with my old boyfriend, we got to talking, and one thing led to another.
And boy, did you talk. He told you he was a big shot in a Fortune 500 company, and you told him that if you knew how successful he'd be, you would have married him. I saw your texts.
I was just trying to be polite.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you were a fine upstanding lady with him while you were seeing him behind my back. Then once you found out he'd sold you a massive bill of lies, you cut him off.
That's not true.
It is, though. You should be grateful. He told me he's fully prepared to take care of Lisa. He even says he wants to marry you.
Not a chance. A lazy bum like him could never support me and Lisa. He's not even good looking at all. I only dated him in high school because I was bored. You've seen what kind of a guy he is, with all the creepy letters and showing up at our apartment.
You slept with that guy. What does that make you? If you ask me, that makes you worse than him.
Daniel, please don't do this. I want to raise Lisa together with you. I know you must think I'm the worst person in the world right now, but I really did enjoy my life together with you. And I know there's no one in the world who would take better care of Lisa than you.
And right up until I found out she wasn't mine, I was thrilled to be able to take care of her. But once I made that fateful realization, I was faced with the most pressing question of my life. What do I do now?
Is that why you seemed so distant a few weeks back? Daniel, I am so sorry. I never meant to hurt you. Can't we work our way through this?
After weeks of consideration, I've made my choice. I'm divorcing you, and there isn't a thing you can do about it.
No, you can't divorce me. You can't. The thought of raising Lisa together with you is the only thing that's kept me going for all these months.
Give it up, Lisa. You brought all of this upon yourself when you cheated on me. There's no way that I will ever forgive you. If I went back to living with you, every time I looked at your face or Lisa's, I'd just be reminded of how you betrayed me.
Daniel, I know that you'd be a wonderful, loving father, and I know that Lisa would agree. So please don't divorce me. Can't you find it in your heart to forgive me? If not for me, for Lisa.
Don't you dare try to use Lisa like that. She's a human being, May, your daughter. She deserves more than to be used as emotional blackmail. And you're wrong about me, May. I won't be a good father.
How can you say that, Daniel? You were always there for me during the pregnancy. We talked so much about how excited we were to see our child. We looked at baby clothes together, cribs, blankets, everything. I want to raise Lisa with you, Daniel, so much.
I didn't read the parenting books you left for me, and I have far better things to do with my time than raise a kid that's not mine. So according to you, I'm not prepared to be a father, right? So you can do what you said you would and go right back over to your folks' house. Your ex-boyfriend, however, has every intention to do what I won't do for Lisa. More importantly, he's still deeply in love with you, and I'm not. So why don't you go and try to make things work with him? As you might have expected, the divorce talks with May didn't go too well at first. However, I had incontrovertible evidence that Lisa wasn't my child, proving that May cheated on me. Her ex-boyfriend was even willing to provide me with tons more evidence to help strengthen my case, so she wasn't able to hold out for long. It took a bit of paperwork, but I was finally able to dissolve any legal ties between me and Lisa, too. May's parents were positively disgusted when they found out that May had cheated on me, but they were also concerned about the fate of their granddaughter. So they pushed May to accept her ex-boyfriend's proposal to get married. With no work history or savings of her own, and thus no way to support Lisa by herself, May saw that resistance was futile. Once our divorce was finalized, she got married to her ex-boyfriend. Unfortunately, however, her ex-boyfriend and now new husband still has not managed to find a steady job. Even more unfortunately, May lost all legal claims to alimony and asset division due to her affair, so she was left completely penniless. So their short-lived newlywed bliss soon transitioned into constant fights over money and everything else. May's parents realized that the two of them were focused more on fighting each other than taking care of Lisa, so they've taken custody for the time being. Poor Lisa, she doesn't deserve any of this. I wouldn't mind May and her new husband falling into total financial ruin, but Lisa is an innocent party. Hopefully her grandparents will raise her well enough to rise above the unfortunate circumstances of her birth. As for me, I was down pretty bad for a while after the divorce. Fortunately for me, though, I had a whole network of family, friends, and colleagues who were there to help me pull through. That's not to say that the wounds have totally healed, though, or that they ever will. But with the support of all the people around me, I have a good chance at being able to have enough good times from now on to leave the bad times behind me. And so I press on. I'm focusing harder on my work, lifting weights in my free time, and I'm also looking at picking up a new hobby. I think that's the best revenge I can get on my ex-wife, finding happiness and leaving them behind me forever.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.